All right, thank you. Appreciate being here, talking again. Um, Today I'm going to do something a little different. I've got over 1,000 photos from that observatory, but when I finally retired 3 years ago, I was finally able to go to the Winter Star Party. And I was excited because I wanted to see all the southern stuff. And before I retired, we had a place in Florida, and I was going to build a 16-inch because I already had that mirror made. I started building, I realized the smallest piece to move in and out would be about 65 pounds. That's just the mirror cell. I said, this is not going to work long term. You can't build an observatory there, hurricanes. And so I ended up, to my shame, I bought a C14 Edge. Okay, but don't spread that around. But so I used that in Florida on an Ioptron mountain. It's really nice for my backyard. And when I went to New Zealand, I was the keynote speaker for the Starlight Conference. I met a gentleman by the name of Adrian Barajan, who took great subs, but he doesn't know how to process. So I said to him, I can do better with this with you. I showed him, and he was astounded. So now we have a nice correspondence. He sends me all the subs. I send him back a completed photo. So he's my southern observer. So I'll show you stuff from Florida and from New Zealand, South Island. And I'll say the inspiration for this was from my first Winter Star Party. I went there and I have all these people from the northern tier of the U.S., from Michigan, Minnesota, New England, coming down with vans with huge telescopes. They'd set them up, and my first Winter Star Party, and I go to the first group. It says, great, what are you looking at? M42. I go to the next group, what are you looking at? And basically, every group was looking at stuff up here that they could see from home. So I went a little berserk and gave suggestions of what they could really see. I said, if you're going to go this far south and lug, 1,000 pounds of equipment, look at stuff you can't see from home. So I gave them a list that ended up becoming the Winter Star Party list, and Diana Hannikainen, who's now the chief editor of Sky and Teletype, made a great article. So you can read the February 24 article. You won't have to listen to me anymore. So I arranged it in, when you first get to the Winter Star Party, you should get to first before they set. Stuff for the middle of the night, and then stuff for early morning. And it's really a good list of things that you can see from Florida, and then I'll show you some things from, do I have a clicker? Oh, so you'll do it? Okay, fine. So that's my observatory at home. It's a 32-inch f6. I use it quite a bit. Next, but we're not going to discuss that here. Go to the next. Okay, so that's I built a platform, and I have a thing I built that I can put that on a table on the side. I take off the telescope. That's 46 pounds. And then I put the tripod on a movable platform, bring that in. So I can be in and out in about 40 minutes. Next slide. So all the photos from Florida are from that mount. And if you go back, notice I'm not on a golf course. I don't care about golf. I'm a pickleball player and bike rider. So anyways, I got a lake behind me, and so the tree line isn't too bad. So there's a list of all the objects that are in the article. Go ahead, next slide. Next slide. So NGC 55, this is kind of tough because it's setting when you first get there to the Winter Star Party. So I said to people to go that first. It's in Sculptor. It's 32 arc minutes long, 8th magnitude, easily observed even with small scopes, and big knots in the spiral arms. I'm going to redo this in color this coming winter. Next. And this is NGC 253. You can see that from here, but it's real low in the sky. It's glorious when it's up here. Again, you can get some really nice detail from it. This is minus 25 deck. It's a bright galaxy in Fornax, 29 arc minutes long. There's a lot of really good galaxies in that whole area of the sky. and you can snag that in pretty much any size telescope, but much more impressive when it's higher. Next. 908, it's minus 21 deck, a little bit higher. It's in Cetus, but just across the border from Fornax. It's worth the look, 58 million light years away. It's a starburst galaxy, and there are a lot of knots in those spiral arms. Next. 1097, this is one of my favorites. I got to redo this one in color, but I was trying to get as many as possible for the article. You can see all the H alpha regions within it. It's a beautiful barred spiral. It's got an accessory, a companion galaxy in the arms on the upper right there. And that's probably what's causing these spiral arms to be so pronounced with a lot of starburst formation. This is just an incredible sight, one of my favorite galaxies in the sky, well worth looking at. And it's minus 30 deck in Fornax, 9.5 magnitude. Okay, next. And this region of the sky is just full of barred galaxies. NGC 1300, it's minus 19 deck in Eridanus, 10.4 mag galaxy. It's a little smaller in size than the previous targets, but you get no difficulty getting it. 65 million light years away. And notice it has an inner spiral ring as well as the outer. So next is 1365. This is another one of my absolute favorites. It's just a stunning sight. Now, if you look at this, you'd think that it is a spiral galaxy with a bar with spiral arms flayed out, right? That's what it looks like. It's not. Do I have a laser pointer I can use for a sec? No? Okay. Concentrate on that center. Notice that there is a dust lane. You're seeing this galaxy on edge. It's not face on, it's on edge. It looks like it's face on. It's so distorted that the disk, which should be straight out, is warped down, and the upper disk is warped up. Research this by looking it up, some research on it. It's a well-studied galaxy for that reason. It's probably the most warped galaxy in the sky. But this is an edge-on galaxy, not a face-on galaxy. And the clue is the dust lane across the core. Okay? I show this all the time. This one is minus 36 degrees, but I show it in my observatory every visitor because I think it's stunning. Next. 1291 is minus 41 deck. Now we're going to start going deeper. It's an interesting barred spiral in Eridanus. It's a barred spiral and an outer ring. Has an inner ring, a bar, an inner ring, and then an outer ring. With a large scope, you can see the outer ring. With a small scope, you'll just see the inner structure. But it photographs well. Again, a lot of these that are black and white, I'm going to be going back and doing color imaging this winter. But it's easy to see, and it's, again, an interesting galaxy to look at. You know, in medicine, if you want to learn about disease process and how it affects human health, you look at the disease and the oddballs, and like a stroke, for example. What part of the brain controls what part of the body? If you have a stroke, you can figure it out very easily. So disease helps you figure out human anatomy. Same thing with astronomy. When you see oddball structures, you try to figure out why did it become oddball. Okay, that's where you're going to learn new science in astronomy. Not looking at the perfect spiral galaxy, but looking at the ones that are bizarre, like 1365, and you got to figure out how did it become bizarre? Why isn't it a normal galaxy? So that's next. 1350, another barred galaxy. There's a whole bunch in that whole region, just west of Orion area. This is in Fornax, 87 million light years away. Central bar, inner ring, and outer ring. Almost always that kind of structure is from an interaction with a nearby galaxy. And it's probably that galaxy up in the upper right there. Next. So 1532, interesting galaxy. It has some close by companions. And notice it's abnormal again. It's got some spiral structure, but it's got that arm that's stuck out. And up in the upper right, it's distorted. And it's probably from interactions with those nearby galaxies. This is known as Halley's coronet. He found it and named it as such, but it has a bar like a box in the central structure. And it's 50 million light years in Eridanus, armed straight out from close interaction with nearby galaxies. Next. This is one of my favorites, 1360. It's a beautiful blue, excuse me, minus 25 deck. This one you can catch from here, but to catch the color, it's nice when it's up high. So this is the Robin's Egg Nebula in Fornax, a large and bright magnitude 9.4 planetary, 6 arc minutes in diameter. If you're in a light polluted area, use an O3 filter. It comes out really well because it's emitting in blue from a lot of oxygen content. So this is one light pollution filter, a O3 filter will help you quite a bit. And you'll see with the filter lots of subtle detail that shows up in the photograph as well. So I like to look at this one, and this is an interesting object. So by this point in the night, Orion is now up nice and high. Okay, next. 1851, minus 40 deck. Okay, again, not be really difficult from here, skirting the horizon. Of course, if you're from Texas, you've probably seen all these. Yeah. We have a guest of honor here, Larry Miller. He'll be talking at 4. It's a globular cluster in Columba, directly south of Orion and Lepus, magnitude 7.1. And any moderate power, 60 to 100 power eyepiece. It's got a really dense core, and it kind of looks like M3 when you first look at it from its appearance. At least that's what it looks like to me. Okay, next. 2292 and 3. These are smaller, minus 26 deck, but it's a merging double galaxy in Canis Major. Well, and people don't seem to find this. That's why I point that out in the Winter Star Party, because you can see these double galaxies rather nicely. They're small, but it's magnitude 7.1. So it's easily found in any size galaxy, any size telescope. It has dense inner cores, I lost my place here. So anyways, a compact site, 11th mag, I'm sorry, lost my spot. And they take high power and ice up to 300 power because they're fairly compact. And in the same field of view, you'll see 2295 off to the right. Next. 2359. Now this I took from home up in Massachusetts. It's minus 13 deck. But a lot of people didn't know about it at the Winter Star Party, which kind of blew my mind, so I included that in the list. But it's a Wolf-Rayet star. And what you see going off to the upper right and lower right is the jets from a Wolf-Rayet star, which is an old star, sending off material from the North and South Pole. And because it's moving rather rapidly through the gaseous medium, the jets are trailing behind. So take a look at that one. It also does very well with an O3 filter. Okay, next. M46 is an open cluster, but next time you look at it, look for 2437 in it. It's minus 14 deck in Puppis. It's a delightful open cluster, so that's nice in any size scope. And with a moderate and larger scope, you can get a nice view of the planetary and well worth looking for. It'll really stand out if you put an O3 filter in your eyepiece. All right, next. SH2308, this is one of my personal favorites. I tried photographing from up here and it just doesn't come out right, I think because it's low in the sky. But down there in Florida, I was able to get it with my wide field scope and it came out rather nice. It's known as the Dolphin Head. It's another Wolf-Rayet star. That's the star in the center. and it's light. The jets, which aren't really very visible here, are lighting up the surrounding gas, which is why it glows in the blue rather nicely. Next. All right, that's not projecting well for some reason, but it's 2467 minus 26 deck. It's an open cluster, and it's got nice nebulosity around it, known as the skull and crossbones. Some of you probably have looked at that. Next. 2997. It's a minus 63 deck. You're not going to see that one from here. It's 9 by 7 arc minutes, and it's a spiral galaxy in Antilla. Magnitude 9.4, and 40 million light years away. This is about as low as I can go in Florida and get something useful, which is why the stars are a little bloated. This is just a few degrees over a neighbor's house across the lake. I should have cut off his heat or furnace. I would have got better. All right, next. All right, 3109, another one that's this one's minus 26 decks. So the regular but faint galaxy, but it's 19 arc minutes long. So in your eyepiece, it'll appear like a long linear streak crossing it. Well worth hunting down. Again, these are things, if you visit Florida, especially the Keys, go after these things. Don't stop looking at M42. Look at it once just to satisfy you, but then move on. Next. Okay, GUM 15. For those who are not familiar, you're probably familiar with SH2 regions up here. Many of you probably photographed them, right? In the southern hemisphere, you got GUM regions, who was the first one to do it, and from Australia, and then RCW regions, which cataloged all the hydrogen alpha regions in the southern hemisphere. This is one of them, GUM 15. It's minus 41 deck. It's 20 by 20 arc minutes in northern Vela, and an O3 filter helps quite a bit when you're looking at this. And this was, again, first found by Colin Stanley Gum, who Australian astronomer who cataloged the southern catalog. Next. And this is RC. I'm not sure why the colors are off on this. This is... Yeah, I mean, on the screen it looks great, but there it looks all washed out. But forget what it looks like, look at it with your eye. RCW 19, minus 35 deck in Puppis, and it's 40 by 40 arc minutes. It's a little faint, but O3 filter will help, but it photographs really well. Okay, you can't tell that from here, but on your computer screen it looks really nice with lots of detail. Next. RC, so this is a SH2294. I like this one for some reason. It's known as the little octopus. Should be obvious why that's the case. All right, next. Okay, again, the colors are awful on the projection. NGC 2736. This is known as the Pencil Nebula or Herschel's Pen. So Herschel, in the southern hemisphere, his son went there, South Africa, I believe, he discovered this. And it's a bright streak of light that's in the outer section of the Vela supernova remnant. And this is the most easily seen part of it. I'll show you a wide field picture of the Vela Nebula in a moment, but it's on the eastern edge, it's very sharp, and it's basically a shock front from the Vela supernova remnant, which was 30,000 years ago, striking cool gas, kind of like the Vela Nebula up here, up north. Next. All right, Vela supernova remnant. This I took with my 86 millimeter refractor because it's huge. It covers 10 full moons in size. And this is with red, green, blue. I'm sorry, H alpha, S2 and O3 filter combination, and it's just the whole region is just full of shock fronts, and that's from the Vela supernova. You still get radio pulses from the supernova itself, which is buried somewhere in the upper right. You don't see it, but the energy from it and from the expansion hitting cool gas is what's lighting it up. Again, similar to the Vela Nebula. Next. And this is another section of the Vela Nebula in the south. Next. RCW 36. It's minus 43 dec in Vela. It's moderate brightness. It shows up really well with an O3 filter. This is the kind of stuff you should be looking at if you go to the Winter Star Party or the Texas Star Party. Next, RCW 38, known as the Southern Ring Nebula. In fact, James Webb did a whole series of photos on this already. You can look them up. They're incredible detail. But this is what I get with my C14 Edge. But it's a minus 40 dec. It's in Vela, a magnitude 9.9, easily seen. If you know what the Ring Nebula looks up here, that's what it's going to look through your scope down there. Next. Okay, RCW 38 is minus 40 dec in Vela. It's large and diffuse, and O3 filter helps quite a bit. But it's a complicated object with lots of moving parts. This is a wide field view of it. You can also take up close images of each one of these sections, and it's got lots of detail that just keeps coming out. All right, next. 3201, it's minus 46 dec in Vela. It's very bright, 7th magnitude overall, 20 arc minutes. This is the equivalent to RM13. It's just a spectacular object and well worth chasing down. So now we're getting into the early morning hours if you're at the Winter Star Party. So next, this is the Hydra cluster. It's visible from up here. It's minus 27 dec, but you can catch so many more galaxies. I've done it in both my house and down there. And when it's up, you can pick out all these tiny galaxies. Most of what you see there is galaxies, by the way. There's just a few stars. So how many can you pick out with your telescope? Take a look. Go ahead. Next. 3621. It's in Hydra, minus 32 dec, 12 by 7 arc minute galaxy. Next. M83. This is one of my absolute favorite galaxies in the sky. And it's funny because for my house, it's low. It hugs the horizon, as most of you know, and it's a difficult object to see and photograph, mainly because never have enough time to do luminance and red, green, blue. So actually, this is a luminance from my house in Massachusetts, but I learned the trick now that I'm in Florida. I do red, green, blue there because you don't need high resolution to add color. So I'm taking a lot of my images that have good luminance from up here, doing just red, green, blue down there, combining them, and that's how I got this. The other thing I'll tell you about M83, anyone here have an on-axis guider? Not the off-axis, on-axis guider. Okay, so the inventor of that called me out of the blue about 10 years ago. He was in Philadelphia then, Philippe, I'm blocking on his name right now, and he moved to Ohio, but he's at NEAF every year, and he sells these. And he said, I need a place to test my new invention, and your scope would be perfect. Can I come up? So I said, sure, come on up. So he puts this on-axis guide. Instead of doing a ring around the object, it's an XY blade. Everything above 750 nanometers goes up to the camera and filter, and anything beyond that goes straight through. And so basically, you're guiding on the infrared, but you're guiding on the object you're photographing. And you can find a star always. So he said, what object do you want to test on? So I thought I'd be smart, and so I picked this one because it was only 10 degrees above the horizon. And I said, if it can track, and I was never able to get him good with nice sharp stars. I said, if you can track on 10 degrees above the horizon with turbulent atmosphere, you'll sell me. So we put it on. The first sub came out, pinpoint stars. I was floored. So I said, okay, you win. I'm in for this. So I've been using it ever since. I highly recommend it. Anyways, that's a beautiful object, lots of H alpha regions, and prominent spiral arms, probably from interactions with nearby galaxies. Has anyone not seen M83? Okay, you got to take a look. You can see that from here. Catch it when it's just above the horizon. Next. And this is an incredible object, NGC 5128, also known as Centaurus A, and that's because it's a radio source, and it was the first radio source seen. In fact, it's one of the brightest radio sources in the sky. It's a galaxy that's only 12 million light years away, so it's not well known up here in the northern sky, but it basically is a huge elliptical that's going straight through a spiral on edge. And the radio noise is from the gas, not stars don't collide, but the gas that's interacting, giving off radio waves. And that's what the radio static from that is. But it's a huge object. This is it's at minus 43 Dec, by the way. Did I put the size? I forget the size. It's about 50 arc minutes in diameter, something like that. Is that right? Yeah. It's about 50 arc minutes in diameter, and it's just an incredible sight through a telescope. You'll see this glow and kind of a dark wavy line going right through the middle of it, and it's very easy to photograph. It's a beautiful object in any size telescope. Next. And Omega Centauri. This is huge, but I don't know. It's nice to look at. It just doesn't have the character of some other globulars. It's probably a captured galaxy that got stripped by the Milky Way, and this is probably the core of a small galaxy that goes around the Milky Way. But it's nice to look at, 5139. But my favorite globular in the sky is, I'll show you, it's in Tucanae. And you can only see that from really far south. Next. 4945 is also in Centauri. It's minus 49 Dec. And again, this doesn't rise high above my horizon, but it's 20 arc minutes long, and it's surrounded by several smaller galaxies. It's kind of a nice field to look for. All right, now, next. I was honored to be the keynote speaker for the New England Starlight Conference for whoever was at Hartman House heard that talk. But it was basically a worldwide collection of people from Dr. Hernshaw from Christchurch University, where he runs every 5 years, to talk about light pollution and how to, and it covered all subjects. I wasn't the only speaker there on human health, but that was my topic. And we had people from the European Union talking about how France, I'll just say this, France is not only passing a law to prevent it from getting worse, their goal is by 2030 to cut the light pollution in half, bring it back to 2000, I mean. Okay, that's an incredible goal, and I really applaud them, and the rest of the European Union seems to be getting on board. We're way behind here. We got to do something about light pollution. But anyways, that's what I was there for. But while I was there, needless to say, I wanted to see the southern sky. So the director of Mount John Observatory was kind enough to lend me his C-14, and I spent dusk to dawn looking at I was like a kid in a candy store. Next. And it's right in the center of Lake Tekapo, which is a dark sky region. The whole southern island is a dark sky region. Next. And this is right in Lake Tekapo. They have a dome. Next. This is on Mount John, looking down on Lake Tekapo. Next. That's 2.5 meter. While I was there observing, I met this gentleman, Adrian Barajan, and he takes some great subs, but he never heard of PixInsight and really didn't know how to process well. So I looked at his file and said, there's a lot more here than you realize. So I took one of his during the meeting, processed it, and totally blew him away at all the extra detail. So we now have a great correspondence. He sends me his subs. I send him back a finished picture. Next. That's his setup, although he now has a Meade 12. Next. This I took from Australia, Magellanic Clouds, just to orient you. Next. Okay, this is one of his photos. Center of the Milky Way toward the core. And this is what it looks like in a dark sky site. You don't have to strain to see the center of the Milky Way. You just look, it's right above your head, and it is unbelievable. Well worth the trip just to see that. Everything else was just a plus. Next. So here's the southern part of the Milky Way. Eta Carina is over here, right above. Yep. And you got the coal sack over here, which is an incredibly dark region surrounded by stars. And you got the Southern Cross right above it. Okay. And then you got Alpha and Beta Centauri. So if you want to treat yourself as an amateur astronomer, go down south and just look at that, even without a telescope. Next, the jewel box is in the Southern Cross, and it's an open cluster, but this one I like looking at. It's just a beautiful object with colored stars, well worth looking at. Next. 2018, it's in the Large Magellanic Cloud in the upper left. It's right above the designation. And it's a supernova remnant. Next. This is the Tarantula Nebula. Again, these I didn't photograph. I observed, but I didn't photograph. I just took Barajan's. He sent me all his 30 subs, and I stacked them and processed them. So this is the Tarantula Nebula minus 69 Dec. You definitely can't see that from here. And it's in the Large Magellanic Cloud and in the eastern part of the Large Magellanic Cloud. It's a whole huge nebulous star-forming region. It's 930 light years across. And it's site of supernova 1987A, of course. 160,000 light years away. Next. This is the Small Magellanic Cloud, minus 72 Dec, 199,000 light years away. And you could spend a week just looking at those two objects because there's so much detail to see any size telescope through a C14. It was overwhelming. Next. This is my favorite globular in the sky. Anyone here see 47 Tucanae? Okay, you guys know what I'm talking about. Am I stretching at all by saying this is the best one in the sky? Not at all. Okay, so for those who haven't seen it and you go to the southern sky, this is incredible. It looked to me, if it was small, it looks like M15 because it has a really dense core. And then an extended outer area, kind of like M15. But it is just so much grander and so much larger, and you can see stars from center to edge. It's just an amazing sight. Anytime I go down south, that's my first object to look at. And it's the second largest after Omega Centauri, but this has character. Omega Centauri, I don't know if you've seen it, it's just kind of a bland field of stars. What do you think? It's huge, but this one excites me. Okay.
It has voids, though, that really can get mesmerized looking at the voids in Omega.
Yep, that's true. I still like 47 Tucanae better. Okay, next. Eta Carinae. Now this, 1 degree above the ocean from the winter star party, through someone from Ohio who had built a homemade 12-inch f2, and he put an H-alpha filter and an image intensifier. So I was looking at that, and it was bright enough with the image intensifier. I just took my iPhone and put it on the eyepiece, and that's what I got. So that's through an iPhone, but I watched this rise over the horizon and took this when it was about 1 degree above the horizon. Just blew me away. So, next. But this is what it really looks like from New Zealand. It's minus 59 deck, so that's as far south as you can go from the Winter Star Party. 120 by 120 arc minutes, and it has the Eta Carina star, which is that is 120 solar masses. It's going to supernova someday, and you got the Keyhole Nebula right above it. Okay, and then the finger over here, which if you zoom in with a larger telescope, this is with an 8-inch, kind of looks like someone's giving you the finger. Look it up, you'll see what I mean. But that's a nice photo, and he missed almost all the detail, but I was able to bring it up because it was it's just a spectacular object. Okay, next. NGC 55 from down in New Zealand, much more detail and a much better picture. Minus 59 deck. Next. So this is in Goose, 60 million light years away. It's a triplet group. It's just a nice grouping, and it looks nice in a telescope. I looked at that with the C14. Next. IC2944, and it's known minus 63 deck. It's known as the running chicken in Centaurus. I don't know if anyone sees the running chicken, but it's a nice object to look. You need the wide field, but here's its feet and its wings, supposedly, and its head looking backwards. But it's with a wide field scope, it really shows up. O3 filter helps quite a bit. Next, 1763 in Dorado. It's part of the Large Magellanic Cloud, minus 66 deck, and it's just several star-forming regions that are lit up. Next. And this is one of my favorites, 2442, 2443, minus 69 deck. It's called a snake in the mouse, and it has two designations through a small telescope. The S-shaped galaxy, 2442, looks like two separate parts, so it got two designations. The mouse on the right is actually, and everyone thinks it's 2443, it's not. It's all that one galaxy. That is PGC 21457. It doesn't really show up well visually, but the galaxy shows up rather nicely. Next, 3198, 2818, minus 36 decks in Pyxis, and it's all he got was kind of this blue bland thing, but I was able to bring out all the detail inside of it, and it's kind of an interesting object. Next, and 3918. Minus 57 deck. It's a planetary in the Centaur known as the blue planetary for obvious reasons, so it must have a lot of oxygen content. I didn't actually observe that one, but being so blue, I would imagine an O3 filter will help quite a bit. Next. 3199, all he got was this, it's known as the smile, is the Carina smile, just the bright section you see, but with a little processing, I brought all this other nebula that was in there. And it's known as the Banana Nebula or the Carina Smile. It's a Wolf-Rayet star again with a bow shock outflow, kind of like 6888 up in Cygnus. And it's just gas being lit up by the jet from the Wolf-Rayet star. Next. This is the center of the Antilla cluster. It's 132 million light years away, minus 32 deck. And the 3268 is the giant elliptical in the center. I didn't bother labeling it all, but it's just filled with galaxies. Next. This is an interesting cluster, and I did get to see this one. It's an unusual cluster. It's called a pincushion cluster in Carina. It's beautiful through the telescope. It's sort of half population of blue stars and a half population of red stars. Probably because half the stars are evolved and the others aren't yet. I'm not sure why. I haven't been able to get too much data on it, but I can tell you it's a great sight through to the eye. Next. 4945 from New Zealand, minus 49 deck. It's really nice. Next. Just got a few more, and I think I'll be on time. 5189, which is a planetary in Musca, and incredible detail through telescopes. And again, he didn't have all that detail, but I was able to bring it all out. I was surprised myself at how much came out of that. But it's just an incredible object with all this detail of from the planetary nebular expanding out. Next. This is known as the Dragon's Egg. It's minus 48 deck, 6164 in Norma. Next. This is known as the Fighting Dragon, except he missed it. You need a wide field. The dragons are actually down below, and this is just the peripheral part of it, but it's such a nice photo, I put it up anyways. I let him know he's got to do it again with wide field. Next. All right. There's one of the largest spiral galaxies that we know of in Pavo. It's 24 million light years away, and it's nearly twice the size of our Milky Way galaxy. Next. 5148 in Grus. It's known as the Spiritai Nebula. It's only 3,000 light years away, minus 39 deck. Next. And this is 7424 in Grus. It's a barred spiral. All right, next. So just a couple more from Florida just to keep going. So this is the Southern Cross, right above the horizon. The bottom star just popped up off the ocean when I took this. Next. And the Winter Milky Way. I took that with just a regular camera, and you can see it doesn't project as well, but you can see the streak of the Milky Way going to the left of Orion there. Next. And I already showed you that at a Carina. So I think we'll stop there. Thank you. So my plea is, do go to the Winter Star Party. You'll have a whale of a time. Do go to the Texas Star Party. Please look at something beyond M42. It's a really big universe, and there's so much stuff to see. So, any questions? Oh, wow. Okay. Then forget everything I showed you from Florida. Look at the stuff I showed you from New Zealand. No, I don't have the Sun website. I didn't write anything about the Southern Hemisphere, just the Florida ones. But, I mean, make your charts. Look, you know what time of year it's going to be there. Pick out the best ones to look at and be productive there. See stuff you've never seen before. You'll really appreciate it.
I do want to mention at this point, all these talks are being recorded and we put on the Stellafane YouTube channel afterwards. And I can tell you this is one that you're going to want to look at on your own computer screen, because I'm watching the recording here and the images do look substantially better on a computer screen than they do on this projector.
Yeah, a lot of the colors just weren't projecting well at all. I'm not that bad of a photographer. Next, any other questions? Yes?
Of all the places in the Southern Hemisphere to travel to, which do you prefer?
Oh, wow. I was in a safari after the 2001 eclipse in South Africa. That was really dark. I've been to Bolivia for an eclipse, and that was really dark, and Lake Tekapo, and Australia after an eclipse. So I don't know, just wherever it's dark and you're south of the equator. Any other questions? Yeah.
Not a question, but the first time I saw Thor's helmet was at the Winter Star Party 30 years ago.
Good for you. You didn't just look at M42. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you.